Oh my goodness, it's Barbie's dream layout. Hey rail fans and model railroaders, welcome to episode 9 of our build series on getting back on track with Steve. Today, we're going to go ahead and get our pink foam and we're going to lay it down and cut it to fit all around both levels of the layout. We'd already had foam on the peninsula, so that's already been done before I even started building this layout. We're just going to go ahead and fit it into place and put it down, but we're not going to glue it in place yet. I'd like to get the backdrop all put into place before we glue down the pink foam, so the gluing down and all that will be part of the backdrop video next week. So why don't you follow along? We'll throw our foam up there, we'll get it cut to fit, and we'll get this work done.
To begin the work, we needed to fasten down all of the upper deck. So I had elected to use 3/4 inch foam board for this project, and mostly due to cost. I can get a 3/4 inch piece of the foam board for just over $20, whereas an 1.5 inch like I used on the Center Peninsula is $45, and a 2-inch piece has gone up to $65. So I figured a 3/4 inch, it should be stiff enough, but if it isn't, even if I had to double it up, I'd still be paying less for 2 sheets than I would for 1 sheet of 1.5 inches. First, we need to cut down the panels to a width of 2 foot. I can do this by using a straight edge and scoring along the straight edge with a razor. There's no need to cut all the way through, because once scored, the foam will easily snap along the cut. Now we only need to rinse and repeat. I need to rip down a total of 4 of these panels to be able to cover all of the surfaces. Now with the panels in position, I can mark the underside using the decking as a template. As you can see on this first piece, I tried using a bread knife, but it bound up and it was a little bit difficult. It made a good enough cut, but it was hard to use. So for this next piece, I used my jigsaw. It was much, much easier. By cutting through at a 2-foot piece, I can use the cut part of the 2-footer to get a perfect fit on the lower deck with only slight modifications. And then we just need to repeat the process as we work my way around the layout. So here you can tell I get a little confused on how to mark and cut this area. I was trying to only use the marker on the backside, as I had been told that the marker will bleed through any paint and ground cover, and I was trying to keep from doing that. I decided it was easier to go ahead and cut the contours to make the part fit along the edges, and then come back and just cut the length that you need. Well, that seemed to work pretty well. The area of the swing bridge posed another problem. I needed to make sure that the arc was matched to allow free movement once the foam was in place. And here I saved the piece I'd cut off at the end of that decking to use as a template, and I was able to get a perfect fit on that arc. Now I'm going to go and try to cut the final bit. I'm trying to make this all one piece. The other part of this project is nice is I'm saving all of these scraps because I should be able to stack them and use them in various areas for contoured layout, building any kind of extraneous structures or ramps. Or should be a lot of uses for all these little bits and pieces. And at last, we have it finally all in place. Look at all that pink.
Well, there you go. We went ahead and got our foam all put in place. We got it trimmed out and fit real nice. So I got it all stacked up on the peninsula now, ready for installment at the next video. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get after this backdrop. So I've got all the pieces cut and ready to go. So we'll start working on that for next week's video. In the meantime, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Getting Back on Track with Steve.